A 21-year-old aspiring air hostess stabbed with a knife by a man near her house. The accused is on the run. Police says he was earlier booked in another crime. The footage of the stabbing has been found. The girl's parents say no action was taken despite repeated complaints. Well, joining us now, Maxwell Pereira, former Joint Police Commissioner of Delhi, Anuja Chauhan, author and columnist, Advaita Kala, also an author and a commentator. Advaita, let me start by asking you this evening, this, of course, this crime comes on a day when we've seen, and I'm sure that you've seen them too, a series of tweets by a young girl who's talking about her experience in a part of Delhi, in a part of South Delhi, which is very popular with youngsters, which has several bars and pubs and is a very regular hangout. So there, and her experience of what she saw, the kind of language that she saw men use when they went after a young girl who was accompanied by a man, had male company, and then also this incident of this man who has stabbed this girl. So despite all that talk that we've been having, despite all those protests and those women out on the streets, many say nothing has changed, and in fact more and more are starting to say nothing will change.
You know, I mean, if you look at these two incidents and just focus on these two, you know, in one instance, you have strangers. In the other, you have someone who's known to the person. In one instance, it's a lonely patch of a walkway. In the other instance, you're surrounded by people, but there's bystander apathy. So, you know, even the kind of prescriptives we get, you know, as women, as young girls, when we're in school, when we're at college, when we're working, even those don't work, because in either situation, whether you're around people or on a lonely stretch, or whether it's someone known to you or someone who's a complete stranger, women are just not safe. And to me, that is the most stark thing that comes out from these two instances. And this is a deeply rooted problem. You know, a lot of times we say we target law agencies, and that must happen as well. I mean, like you mentioned, you know, hostess village is a great party destination for young people. So there is alcohol, there is partying, there's all of those things which can lead to conflict. It does often lead to conflict. We saw an incident of rape there in February 2017 around the same area. So this is a high stress area which needs policing. Now, it's as straightforward as that. So why are the cops not around? And not just for protecting people, but also drunk driving and other ancillary issues.
And also as a deterrent. I mean, having policemen around is also a strong visual deterrent. Maxwell Pereira, come in at this point.
Absolutely.
I agree with the fact that it's not possible to police every corner of a city the size of Delhi all the time. One does get that point. But the point that Advaita is making, and many have raised on social media, is the fact that this is a place where there can be potential conflict. We have seen crime taking place. Why don't we see more action by authorities?
I'm totally with you on this. I mean, policing has to be there, and while it is true that you can't be everywhere, but this is an area I think is normally policed. I think the hostess village is a popular destination for restaurants and other things, evening life and things like that. And I'm sure a lot of people would expect the police to be there.
So why doesn't that happen, Mr. Pereira? You're perhaps best placed to explain that to us.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm surprised that if it wasn't there. This is something that it's a claim, perhaps. On verification it could be found out, but then I believe the flying squads or the PCR vans of Delhi police are normally quite alert, and they are readily available. A one call to the 200 should be able to bring them on the spot.
We have seen that firsthand, that they do respond. But when this kind of incident happened, lots of people sort of do ask that this is seen as a crime capital really in the country, unfortunately, in a sense, and should we just have more policing? Anuja, as someone who's been familiar with this city, now of course in Bengaluru, which of course is seen in many ways as a far safer place. It has its issues, of course, also with security for women, but is seen as far safer than the north. What do you believe is the reason? There's, of course, patriarchy and all that comes into play. But first, my question to you is, do you sort of really see a difference in mindsets between where you are today and the city that you were in a few years ago?
No, I think the most important thing why these things happen again and again is that people think that you can get away with it. That's very clearly the notion, you know, it's everyone thinks I can get away with it. So the only encouraging thing about this incident that has happened in Hostess village is that somebody has seen it and somebody has stopped it. And it is not the police who, frankly, I don't think anybody in Delhi really counts upon, frankly. It is just, you know, regular people. It's a girl who's seen it and she has some men with her, which, you know, of course is the only thing that seems to scare people like this is the fact that you're not a lonely, unaccompanied girl, but there are men with you. And they have stopped this thing from happening. And it seems to be that kind of situation where people have to help people, because it doesn't seem like the government or the police or even the lighting in that area or anything else is coming to your aid.